G and control budget. My name is Joshua Wakahora Irogo, Governor Laikipia County, serving my last term. And with me, Chair, I've decided to start mentoring other leaders and come to hold them accountable. That's the reason why we have come with a small number here. The other numbers are out, so that when I come over here, I know there has been a debate in terms of who should be responding to these issues, which is on day basis. It's not really the governor who signs the check, but these are the people who does so. But I respond because I'm the CEO of the county. I'm the one who is held accountable. So that's why they are all here to hear some of the issues that come out from here, and they are able to build confidence so that next time when you call them, when they'll become the governors, even if it's 2052, they're able to face the senators at that particular time. So allow me to introduce them. Others I know you'll allow us, Chairman, when issues come for various entities, some of them are out, and therefore when their issues come, you'll be seeing some walkout. Some people will be exchanging, going out, so that the others, they provide a space or opportunity for the others, particularly when we are discussing the issues. Asante. Allow me to give my colleagues an opportunity to introduce themselves, starting from Chief Officer.
Chair, Your Excellency, the Governor, and all partners, my name is Daniel Ngumi, Chief Officer Finance and the County Treasury.
Chair, honorable members, the Governor, and our partners, my name is Washira Gashigi, the CC for Finance, Economic Planning, and County Development. Thank you.
Chair, His Excellency the Governor, all protocols observed. My name is Anthony Rokwaro, Nanyuki Municipal Manager.
Chair, honorable members, Your Excellency the Governor, all protocols observed. I'm Jackson Kibocha, Municipal Manager Muruti.
Chair, honorable members, His Excellency the Governor and the partners, my name is Albert Taiti, CCM for Health. Thank you.
The Chair and honorable members of the committee and all protocols observed, my name is LAIKIPIA. I am the CCM for Water.
Chair, honorable members, I am Wangi Gishoke, Chief Officer, Large Housing and Urban Planning.
Chair, honorable members, my name is Samuel Medwega, Accountant, Large and Infrastructure Department.
Chair, honorable members, my name is Martin Moshiri from Nanyuki Water and Sewerage Company, the chair to the board. Thank you.
Chair, honorable members, and all protocols observed, I'm Phoebe Karimi, the internal auditor, Nanyuki Water and Sanitation Company Limited. Thank you.
Chair, honorable members, my name is Kennedy Gitonga, Managing Director, Nanyuki Water and Sanitation Company.
Chair, honorable members, my name is Brandon Moura, Managing Director, Nyahururu Water and Sanitation Company.
Observing all protocols, my name is John Wabugo, the Chief of Staff to the Governor.
Honorable Chairman, honorable members, and all protocols observed, Your Excellency the Governor, my name is Koinange Wahome, the County Secretary.
Everyone has been introduced?
Yes, Chair.
Okay, so honorable members, we proceed to agenda item number 3, administration of oath of witness and tabling of documents, and Governor, you will assist us, assisted by the clerk.
I, Joshua Wakahora Irogo, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before the committee in respect of the matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
So you proceed to table your documents.
Mr. Chairman, I hereby table the following documents before the committee. Management responses and accompanying annexes on Nanyuki Water and Sewerage Company Limited for financial year 2023-2024. Nyahururu Water and Sewerage Company Limited for financial year 2023-2024. Nanyuki Municipality for financial year 2023-2024. Lumuruti Municipality for financial year 2023-2024. Nyahuru County Referral Hospital for financial year 2023-2024. And lastly, Nanyuki Teaching and Referral Hospital for financial year 2023-2024. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Auditor. Please, can you tell this committee a brief statement on documents which have been tabled before us, whether they meet the minimum threshold for consideration by this committee?
Okay, thank you, Chair. I can confirm that we received responses from the management in good time. That was in 7 days before their appearance. And we've verified their responses, and we are ready to proceed to prosecute. Thank you.
Very well. Our clerk.
Chair, I confirm the Office of the Clerk received the document on 21st March, that is within the 7 days. We were able to go through those documents and we are ready to guide the committee.
Very well. So, honorable members, we have 5 entities before us. That is Nanyuki Water and Sewerage Company Limited, Nyahuru Limited, Nanyuki Municipality, Rumuruti Municipality, Nyahururu County Referral Hospital, and Nanyuki Teaching and Referral Hospital for the financial year 2023-2024. We are going to change our model of approach to examination of these reports because of the request by members that they want us to fast track this meeting. So we will largely receive the written submission for all these 5 entities, but then, are they 6? Yes, 6 entities. But then we have isolated key issues for each of the entities, which we want auditors to comment on. You don't have to read the query. You know the issues. You comment on. The governor again will make a comment on the issues. And then we will adapt the written responses, but have an opportunity for the report in writing to the county. That way, honorable members will be able to manage our We'll start with the water companies. Done. you quickly move out, and then the other people can come in. Yeah. Yes, municipality and water companies, you are here. So we'll start with you. The water companies, the main issues are material uncertainty related to going concern. There is the issue of customer deposits, and there is the issue of non-revenue water, and the issue of receivables, long outstanding receivables. Those are the issues that I want to comment on for the two water companies. Let's start with the issue of material uncertainty related to going concern, which is an issue for both companies. And what this issue means is that the companies have a negative working capital, and they are basically insolvent. So I will allow the auditor to give us a brief for each one of them, and then the governor will also comment on that. So let's start with Nyahururu Water.
Okay, thank you, Chair. On the issue of material uncertainty related to going concern, the key issue was the negative working capital, as you have said, Chair. The current assets stood at 79,459,208, while liabilities stood at 172,664,392. That is resulting to a negative working capital of 93,205,184. We've verified the response by the management. The management agrees with our observation, and we're recommending that the management should provide measures to turn around the company, since the negative working capital is increasing. Thank you.
That is for both companies or just Nyahururu?
That is Nyahururu Water Company, Nyahururu Water and Sanitation Company.
Yes, Mark?
Yes, Chair. Maybe also to note in relation to that is the increase in the loss from 7 million to 40 million in the year under review. That's closely related to the material uncertainty.
Yes. Oh, so, Governor, your comments on that?
Chair, as you have directed, I don't need to read each and every paragraph, but I want to give, and I know this will come even for in other 94 water companies in this country. And I know, Chair, just before even I respond to this, I know all the water companies that will come over here, there will be issues of even coming from the governor themselves. But to this committee, it needs to be noted that the issue of a tariff is not initiated by WASLEP. The issue of tariffs starts from the water company. And the water companies belong to the county governments, not a national government function. And therefore, issues of tariff is when you find that most of these query will come almost across three-quarters of the water companies in this country will have this issue. Coming down to my county, the issue is because of the tariff. That the tariff that has been there is outdated, or it's outdated tariff that it cannot even meet the cost of production for water. And this is what is happening in the rest of the country. At the moment, the cost of production in our region, if you compare the Nanyuki and Nanyuki and Nyahururu, is different, because Nanyuki operates on a gravitational water. That means they don't have a lot of cost in terms of powering. And because of their tariff, and we have revised the tariff, both companies, we have revised the tariff, and I'm sure out of the revision of the tariff, we will be able to manage. We'll be able to manage these receivables, the liabilities. We'll be able to manage those ones now that already Nyahururu have even gazetted their tariff, or a revised tariff, reviewed tariff, all the way from 61 shillings for 1 unit to 120. So they will be able to meet the cost of production, because a cost of production for water, 1 cubic unit for Nyahururu, is going at 105, 112. So with 120, they are able to meet that. Then when it goes to Nyahururu, to Nanyuki, the cost of production per unit is going to 89, 88. And therefore, when they have revised their tariff to 90, they will be able to clear all these issues now in terms of even paying for their assets, in terms of liabilities, in terms of receivables. They'll be able to deal with that.
Can you comment on the increase in loss from, how much was it, 7 million?
7 to 40 million, Chair.
7 million last year to 40 million now.
Shaman, so that these guys feel that they were insanity. Can I give one of them to? Yes, FD Nyamrud.
Thank you, Chair. As His Excellency has explained, the cumulative effect of non-performance for the last 10 years without a performing tariff has its own consequences. The company, were it not for the ruling of this committee, when we sat here before you, Chair, where you instructed WASREP to take proactive measures, could not have sustained in another 2 years. But fortunately, we'll be able to manage this loss consequent of the approved tariff as indicated by His Excellency, sir. So, cumulative 10 years of losses reported by the Auditor General had to reach a cascading point, and 2023-2024 was the culmination of that accumulated loss. But the review of the tariff will now reverse, and internal measures, cost control measures, will now reverse that trend. Thank you, sir.
So what is causing the delay in the review of the tariff?
Chair.
Yes.
And I want to respond on not only when I come here, I always want to add value. And for your information, I'm the chair in the Council of Governors on Water Committee. The issue of the delayed tariff, and as you have heard from MD, that you are saver. You have saved the most of the companies by your directive, by directing WASREP to fast track on these issues. If the tariffs are not going to be reviewed in most of the counties, and with the crisis of the delayed disbursement, many of our water companies will not survive. And that's the reason why we are saying that now, because it had delayed for many years, because the issue of tariff is political. It has also much of the politics. And it is until the time the governors themselves understand that the water company is theirs, and the review of the tariff and setting the tariff to the cost of water production, it is for the good of the client and the customers. And therefore, for me, it's not like where, and because of the politics, because of increasing, just like what is happening in terms of cost of living and all that. Therefore, any increase at the moment is sensitive to our customers, and therefore many of the governors and other even MDs would shy off to increase. But I'm telling you that is detrimental to most of the water companies, and particularly for me, supply of water, clean drinking water in urban areas. And therefore, the issue of the tariff delay is because is increasing. When we hear about tariff increase, then of course you know the fight that comes from our customers, our clients, our voters, and that's the reason why many water companies have stayed with a tariff for the last 10, 15 years, because they shy off to renew the contract. Because like now, if it is to renew the contract, the tariff in probably next year, I would shy off, because you will be voted out, because you have increased the rate. But for me, it is the right thing, so that we can have water companies, sustainable water companies, and sustainable water supply to our people. Thirdly, Chair, it is important to also to go to the record that the water companies are owned by the county government. So from the process of setting the tariff and agreeing of the tariff review, it is all initiated from the water company to the governor as before the WASREP comes to approve and gazette the tariff. So it is not a tariff of WASREP, it is a tariff that comes from water companies.
Okay, but even as you talk about the tariff, you have 33 million which is not collected in terms of trade receivables. So if this money was collected, it will reduce the figure of negative working capital.
Chair, let them MD Nyahururu respond.
Thank you, Chair, and Your Excellency. This matter came before you, Chair, last time we appeared here, and what we've done, we've taken measures, albeit slow, by forming debt correction committee instituted in management of Nyahururu Water and Sanitation Company. Secondly, the inflows and corrections from government institutions is very slow because of maybe internal issues within the department. We have had major debtors like the prison, the KCC, which is in Nyahururu, and they owe huge amounts of money, but we have instituted through His Excellency, we have committees formed at the county level that is assisting the company to correct this revenue, to position the company into profitability. Thank you, Chair.
How much does the county owe you?
The county, before we came here, when we were here, they owed us 8 million. They have since reduced that by 6 million. We only have a balance of 2 million, but they have made repayment structure and agreement with the county finance department, Chair.
Okay, let me open up Senator Kinyo and then Senator Kisang.
Governor, I've heard, including what the CEO Maura is talking about, whereby you are advised by the good chair in terms of tariffs, and you have reviewed tariffs. Did you do any public participation as per what is provided by the Constitution of Kenya? Or you took the word of the chairman to be gospel truth?
Chair, let me respond on that. Is if there is a county, and I'll tell you that, and should go to record, if there is a county that do each and every engagement, whether it's a policy, whether it's the review of the tariff, I am the one who actually take the lead. Even this issue of the review of the tariff, where one would shy off, knowing that I want to sustain my company rather than fighting. And this is the difference, where you fight, governor want to, and in fact I explained to some of the governors, if you want even the tariff to be zero, then you pay for chlorination, you pay for the production of the water, which you don't have the money. So even actually for me, and I want to be open today, that even like I know there was an issue of conservancy fee that Nanyuki is supposed to be paying to the county. The arrangement that we have made, because the county government want to reduce the distance traveled by our people to get clean drinking water. We decided with our water company, can you go now that because your books are good, can you go and do the asset financing for drilling machines? And then our conservancy fee can be able to be paying or servicing that loan. And therefore, for me, even for the counties, they can take advantage of the water companies to make sure that water reticulation is done even outside the service area. And therefore, for me, the issue of public participation has been going well. It only requires either the governor or the management to go and explain to the people, because it's for their good, because our people want clean water. And it means for you to have this tariff, it is for the cost of production for this water, the 1 unit. So in terms of participation,
Chairman,
it's good.
Chairman, on a point of order.
Yes.
The answer, my question was a straight answer. The participation was done, yes or no?
Yes, it was done, Chair.
Yeah, so if it was done, why is it difficult to implement? In that public participation, did they reject the tariff or they approved?
The tariff was approved. It has been gazetted by WASREP for Nyahururu, and therefore we are waiting for the 30 days. and then we have start implementing it.
So you will promise this committee that next time you come, the tariffs will be operational and people will be charged as per the tariff.
True, Chair.
Okay.
I promise.
So Chair, with the question I was asking, the public participation, we can get the record to confirm it was conducted. That's what I'm asking.
Yes, Chair. It is possible to get all that evidence.
Okay.
The WASREP cannot approve unless they see a record of public participation. Senator Kisang.
You know, Chair, thank you very much. I'd like to add one comment and one question. The governor, you know, when you want to serve your people, that's why we raise taxes. And if the tariff has been there for more than 10 years and you're on your second term as a governor, I don't see the reason why you are fearing for your re-election, unless, of course, you're interested with Senator Kinyo's seat. And it's not his seat, it's for the people of Laikipia. So just go ahead. Secondly, on public participation, the chair is, you know, Washingishu were here the other day, and those of us who reside in Washingishu, we want to court, because I'm told, I don't know if it is the same that your MD can confirm, sometimes what the water service providers do, they propose very high tariff with the intention that WASREP is likely to lower. And sometimes WASREP might not lower. So you end up overcharging the consumers. That is actually what the elders did. That's why people went to court. So even you, as you wait for the 30 days, if that is what your MD did, I believe if Omtata has not been assigned, people are likely to go to court. And then they finally, Chair, this thing, the uncertainty, it's not alone entirely on the tariff. Also, non-revenue water. The NRW also contributes. The 38% that is here, I know it's another question, you know, it is basically tied up together. If the non-revenue water was lower, then basically we will not have a negative working capital. Thank you, Chair.
In fact, as you say that, we can actually combine all those issues in one go. The non-revenue water, yes, for this company auditor was 38%. True or false? And for Nanyuki, how much was it in Nanyuki?
28.
28. So what that means, Governor, is that 28% of your water is wasted in Nanyuki, and 38% of your water is wasted in Yaururu. Is not accounted for, is not billed, and that eats into your revenues and hence your loss. So what are you doing about the non-revenue water?
Chair, I know
for the two companies.
The two companies, one of the things is non-revenue water comes in twofold. One is physical, either the breakages of water, of the pipes and all that, then you end up losing water. The other non-revenue water comes out of the water theft. Many other times is water theft because the physical damage, you'd see a lot of water flowing. But one of the other thing is because many of these pipes that were laid 60, 50 years, in fact, some of them are asbestos. And therefore, for us, one of the things we need to appreciate the two water companies is they have moved down. In fact, if you compare the report that they had for 2022, 2023, their non-revenue water was higher, and now it's going down. For Nanyuki is remarkable because they are almost hitting now the benchmark of 25% according to the WASREP. So we are almost there, and I'm sure that the measures that we are putting, one of the measures that we are putting, Chair, is to do restructuring of all the asbestos pipes and the old pipes to remove them all and then change with the new pipes so that we don't have any physical water. Again, in terms of rural water, like Nyahuru is affected by having some of the scheme is in the rural, and managing the rural scheme is a major problem. So as a county, what we have decided to do is that all the rural water areas, we are going to have a LAIKIPIA rural water company that even their tariff is a friendly tariff, so that even if they want to go to do irrigation and farming and all that, it's well manageable. So that's one of the things that we are doing as a company. So the remarkable is, if you share, and the committee, if you can compare what was there the other year and now, it's totally different. It has gone down. So they're in progressive in terms of reducing non-revenue water share.
Okay, honorable members, any comments? Senator Mbugu?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, when you hear the governor talking very eloquently about water, other than him being the chair of the COG Committee on Water, he's the immediate past chair of WASREB. That is why he is presenting that. So maybe he can benefit this committee by telling us as COG, because every county which appears here, the issue of non-revenue water is a big problem. And I don't know whether as COG you've done a global assessment of the amount of money the country is losing globally, and what WASREB, because you are there, and maybe what you instituted when you are there, how we can address this point, I mean this problem from as a country.
Maybe Chairman, before he so I can add something, because Governor, I listened to you. You said many of the pipes were laid long time ago, maybe 10 years, and most of them are asbestos. But what did not add up to me is when you mentioned about non-revenue water, much of it is theft. It's not about this asbestos, even if you were to change the pipes. What would you do about the theft? Because you mentioned, when you're talking, you said, yes, you mentioned about the pipes and the asbestos, but you said much of the leak or the loss of water is not through the pipes. You said it's through theft. So even if we were to change pipes and put new pipes or anything, changing the pipes, we are not going to help. What is your take on that?
Chair, let me just respond very briefly on that, because the non-revenue water, I know there is a lot of investment that has been done by Japan, by many of our donors have put a lot of cost, money into it. But I would want to, through this committee, is the repairing of the old pipe is one thing, which to me, when we are talking about reviewing the tariff is not only for only maintaining and managing the water service, but it's also for reticulation and the repairing of all those pipes. On the issue of theft, this is where the water policing is coming forth. The master meters are coming forth, which has been tried and it's being rolled out in terms of putting master's meter because of the theft that is done by the people. The people, many of the times, they take advantage where these fire extinguishers, they draw the water. That's where the theft, much of the theft is coming from, because that is not controlled water. And therefore, there are measures that we want to regulate on that. And therefore, I am sure that if the water companies can have an updated tariff, they can be able to do repairs of the structures. Because one of the things, Chairman, is these conditional grants and equitable share. Many of the times when it's not enough to do all this, so the only safety is the water company to have updated tariff that can be able to take care of the repairs of the pipes and even rehabilitation of all those old pipes. And we are at risk as a country, where we are supplying, many of our water companies are passing or giving water through asbestos pipes.
Okay, MD, when you were here last, we gave interim recommendation and said that moving forward, we don't just want a global figure of non-revenue water, but we want it split into losses emanating from physical losses and commercial losses. So have you done that? Do you know component of, and I want this answer from both companies, the component of that non-revenue water, what is the component for commercial and what is the component for physical?
Thank you, Chair. Since we are here, Nyahururu Water and Sanitation Company, we instituted measures that one, we defined the DMAs, and we have installed master meters and zonometers. That has given us.
No. I just want you to give me figures.
We have on physical losses, we have 66% of the 38 is physical losses in Nyahururu, and 34 is commercial losses, sir. Thank you, Chair.
Why are you unable to deal with the commercial ones first? Even as we wait for improvement in infrastructure, why are you not dealing with the 34?
Chair, on 34, next year, by when we appear before you next year, and this honorable committee will have cured the commercial losses, because we have been able to identify unmetered areas in demarcated zones, unmetered consumers. Then we have also identified the number of faulty meters within the system, aged and faulty. And within the WSP, we have around 8,000 meters that require replacement. In my the detailed report tabled by His Excellency, you will find that through a program by an organization called Gatsby, they have agreed to give a grant and replace the faulty 8,000 meters within the WSP supply area. Therefore, with those kind of interventions, and His Excellency after appearing before you, has endeavored and able to get funding worth 90 million, that the component of 20 million will do a global positioning system to identify all metered and unmetered zone. That 20 million, we are at the tendering stage. Then the 70 million will rehabilitate the whole network in Nyahururu town. Therefore, Nyahururu town has the bulk of water theft. When we replace the whole town with the new pipeline, HDP, we are also going to ensure that each consumer meter is fully identifiable and mapped in our GIS system. And that,
Okay.
that
Maybe
will
stop there.
Yes,
But just know that you are on record. When you come back, we will test you against your own words.
Yes, dear.
To see whether that non-revenue water is going to go down further or up. Nanyuki, your comment on non-revenue water, how you have separated the physical from the commercial?
Okay, thank you, Chair. Our NRW currently stands at 28%, and out of that 28%, 68% is physical losses. And these physical losses is a result of leaking water tanks. Our water storage tanks are more than 40 years, but Chair, what we are doing currently, we are repairing those tanks, and by the end of this financial year, 30th June, we will be saving around 1.2 million liters every day. By repairing those tanks, Chair, we will be able to reduce our NRW to 24%. But on the commercial losses, that is 32%, the challenge we have is the meters. We have close to 21,000 customer meters, out of which around 10,000 are more than 10 years. We have a program where we are replacing, before the end of this financial year, 9,500 pieces. And once that is done, again, Chair, we will be able to reduce the overall NRW again by 2%. So by the end of the financial year, Chair, when we come here, our NRW will be less than 22%. Thank you.
Okay, again, we are going to judge you then on what you are saying. So, honorable members, I would like the auditor to comment on customer deposits. start with Nyahururu and then Nanyuki.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I'm starting with Nyahururu Water and Sanitation Company on customer deposits account. There was a variance of 33,449,992, which was brought about by the variance considered funds spent by the management without authority by the company's board of directors, and which had not been refunded to the customers. So currently, further, the board decided to build up customer deposits accounts by authorizing a standing order of 2 million each year to be deposited to account every financial year up till when the account is equal to the corresponding balance. However, there was no evidence to show the 2 million was banked into the customer.
I don't want you to read the question, auditor. Just, you know, the facts. Just tell us the customer deposit for Nyahururu is this much, and for Nanyuki is this much.
Thank you. Well guided, Chair. Customer deposits for Nyahururu Water stood at 36,153,747, while the customer deposit balance in the account was 2,703,755. Therefore, there was a variance of 33,449,992.
So that means they illegally borrowed 33.4 million for Nyahururu and Nanyuki.
For Nanyuki Water and Sanitation Company, refundable deposits and prepayments stood at 32,600,333, while their balances, cash and bank balances, stood at 29,059,476. So there was a variance of 3.53,540,857.
So which is illegal borrowing?
Yes. Yes, Chair.
So, Governor?
Chair, I know this issue came in the last engagement, and we did commit as a county government, even a letter is attached. It's just that the flow of funds has been a limitation in the county governments. We committed to pay 14 million, and 14 million was because of the defunct municipalities, the initial, so that is a current fund as a liability, which the county government owned, that we can pay that. But the rest, the county, through the CEC finance, they were given a grant to a letter so that they can open up a separate account for that, where the county government has committed to be paying a certain amount of money, 450 every month for the customer deposit. But again, also on the other issue, as much as is illegal borrowing, Chair, rather than even the company, and this I'm speaking, okay, this is a deposit. For me, where it should be out of order is where the water company would not be able to pay the deposit to the customers where they need. But so long as the water company is servicing, I don't want to justify the illegality, but so long as the company is able to pay the deposit when the customer is exiting, he is able to service that, I don't see that being a major problem. But again, on the other hand, rather than the water company going to borrow from the commercial banks with the interest and all that, and these are some of the water companies who are struggling even to sustain themselves, I would really probably a policy that can help them to borrow internally is what we should be looking for, rather than putting it as if it's so illegal just to borrow from internally rather than going to borrow from outside.
The policy to allow them borrow, it's there in the law, the PFM. It only becomes illegal when they don't apply that policy, because it says they can borrow so long as they don't exceed 5% of what is to be borrowed from the deposits. Number two, they need approval of the board. And number three, they need approval of the county assembly. So if the amount is more than 5%, then that's an issue. If there is no approval of the board, is an issue. If there is no approval of the county assembly, is an issue. It allows the borrowing, only that people are not following the law stipulated in the PFM Act. So, MD, how are you going to recover this money, the two MDs?
Maura.
Thank you, Excellency, and the Chair. This matter, when we appeared before you, Chair, the figure was still where the auditor found it, at 32. There are two components on this figure, the group of figure. One is the historical debt by the time of transition. His Excellency has agreed the historical debt will be taken over by the county government. The balance from 14, we were instructed by this committee to open a dedicated customer deposit account, which we have since complied, and we have His Excellency has tabled the evidence. Since we were here, we have tabled evidence that that account has built up to 7 million. And we have a standing order of 675,000 per month. Is it? 450 per month to cover the old debt, because what this committee ruled was stop borrowing from this account and comply and build up, recover the historical, and make sure you balance that account. We have complied, Chair, with the ruling of this committee, and His Excellency has tabled that evidence.
Anyuki?
Thank you, Chair. What we have done also, we opened, as you mandated us and our shareholders, we opened an escrow account where every day we have a standing order of 19,080 shillings every day. And up to date for the last 8.5 months, Chair, the account has accumulated 4.765 million as attached. Thank you.
So, and you have not borrowed further lately?
No, Chair.
No, Chair, we haven't.
Okay, Mark, you have any comment on this?
Chair, maybe just that there's need to comply with the law that deposits should remain intact, and borrowing then should be refunded within the year. So at the end of the financial year, when we audit, we should not find any amounts that have been used in operations that ought to be in deposits. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, so I think, honorable members, those were the main queries of interest in water. The other queries, I think we are going to adopt the written responses. As I said, if we have any further clarifications, we will write to the county for them. So let's quickly go to the municipalities.
Chair, before we move from the water, I know this was
We have
not
already
a query.
covered. What you want, we have already covered.
You have?
We have already covered.
It's intact?
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
It's not intact, but we have covered.
Chairman, just a question. I wanted to know these customer dedicated accounts, the 7 million in Nyahururu and 4.6 in Nanyuki. How long have you built it up?
Thank you, Honorable Member, Senator. We started immediately we left this committee. That was last year, August.
So it's about 8 months.
Yes, sir.
And therefore, Chair, when water companies are doing good and become a model for the other counties, it is, I think, it is in order for you, Chair, to say heck to the company and other. Yeah, it's not only because you can see that my water companies have taken the directive. Many other times you give directive, nobody take up. And therefore, but here, you hear from my two water companies, they are referring to from the directive that you give, go open an account on this, because it's law, they do. go and start get building up on their customers' deposit, they do. So when they do that, Chair, I don't know what they're supposed to be given unto them, Chair. Even if it's a cup of tea after this.
It's
Until they clear the full amount.
Chairman is normally said, you don't blow your trumpet, but it is wrong because it's your trumpet, you can blow it. Yeah.
Okay, we are going to municipalities, the two municipalities, Nanyuki and Rumuruti. Now, on this one, we are so experienced in these municipality things, Governor, you'll be surprised. All these queries, when we see the queries, we know where the problem is coming from. The issue of independence of these municipalities, which is reflected in these queries. For example, in Nanyuki municipality, we have issues to do with the lack of municipality board annual work plan, irregular convention of special board meetings, failure to make returns to the county executive, failure to sign minutes of Nanyuki municipal board, and budgeted expenditure, failure to institute audit function, internal audit function, and issues of preparation of financial statements. So we would like you to tell us about the position, auditor. First of all, let me start with the auditor. What is the position of the boards in these municipalities? And are they, have they complied with the provisions of Urban Areas and Cities Act, Section 12 and Section 20?
Thank you, Chair. The boards are gazetted for the two municipalities, Rumuruti and Nanyuki municipalities.
Are they functional and are they executing their mandate as per the Urban Areas and Cities Act?
Yes, Chair. There are gaps that we pointed out in our report that makes it, that needs to be filled for it to be fully functional. Thank you.
But the auditor, you have just said in your report in Nanyuki, you have said that lack of an annual plan for the board, failure to make returns, failure to sign minutes of the board, irregular convention of special board meeting, and even transfers, the transfers of from the Laikipia County. And then even in your other queries, there are indication of commingling of funds between the executive and the municipalities. That is a sign of lack of independence.
Yes, Chair. The several gaps that we found out is that for the Nanyuki municipality, there were cases of there was lack of board calendar and annual work plan. There was also irregular convention of special board meetings, that is for Nanyuki municipality. And the management also failed to furnish the county executive with returns, that is the annual returns on the operations, and they didn't demonstrate to demonstrate their compliance to the Section 51 of the Urban Area Cities Act 2011. Those and others confirm that they are not fully autonomous as required by the Urban Areas and Cities Act 2011.
Okay, Governor.
Chair, I might not be so much experienced on this one, but I know something. One is, without any defense, is the Nanyuki municipality was gazetted and actualized as a board is in August. So the financial year that we are talking about, August last year. Last year. That is 14th August 2023. Not last year, but one. So the year in reference is the year that they were being constituted, and therefore one of the things that I would of course, I would expect that for them to do is so many special meetings. I know is not the good governance, corporate governance, but in the initial stage is when they were having many special meetings with our executive, the chief officers, and the CEC because of the transfer of functions, so that they were to agree and separate in terms of budgets, because we never wanted to do according like what has happened, that many functions have been pushed to the county government, but no resources followed those functions. And that's the reason why the county governments are suffering. We do not want to serve our municipalities to suffer the same setup, that you push functions to them, and how they say, and you see, these are the centers where of economic development which are sensitive. So a lot of meetings were engaged, which I am aware of, for them to agree in terms of the functions and in terms of agreeing in terms of the resources that need to follow those functions. Again, that's also the time, it's a new board, so even actual annual plan, and one of the things that we have done, and I'm sure in the next financial year, different, because I have subjected to the board for the various training, instituting in the municipality in terms of staffing. I would imagine even, in fact, I would say that they even have performed better, because even the new accountant to start managing a whole institution, and we have even empowered, staffed the municipality with accountants, the procurement officers, senior physical planners, registered engineers. So we have done this, and therefore some of these quarries is just because it was a new institution, which I know I would imagine a bit of issues that would come. But I'm sure that we have taken note, Chair, and we want to promise you, whether it's annual work plan, whether it's the board meetings according to the corporate governance, in terms of their budgeting and all those issues, I'm sure, Chair, I take note, we are going to improve on that for a new municipality.
Governor, maybe you need to tell us, for example, this municipality, because the law requires they should have managerial, financial, and operational autonomy. Do they have a bank account? Do they have their own management, or it is seconded management from your executive? And do they have their own financial statements?
For Nanyuki, probably this is the time that
they collect their own revenue.
For me, in terms of the bank account, they have their own bank account now. They have their own board. Both of them are updated board now, both Nanyuki and Umruti. We have agreed, and I signed, and we gazetted the functions, that we transferred all the functions. So the issue that has been there in the discussion is the disbursement or the transfer of resources. And you see, we transfer resources based on what we are receiving. So when the functions were not costed well all the way from up, then going down, it goes down the same agenda. And therefore, for me, they are autonomous, autonomy now. They have their own autonomy now, and they can do in terms of the management, the board, and all that. They have everything now. I would say that.
Yeah, I want to take you back to the issue, just a moment. The issue of revenue collection, and the managers are here. The municipal managers, are you here? For Nanyuki?
Yes, Chairman, we are.
And for, okay, give them the mic.
Yes, Chairman.
Are you collecting revenue, and how much revenue have you collected in the last 1 year?
As my governor is saying, we are relatively new, and we start with the baby steps. First of all, we are working on the solid waste management, and by large, we shall be there hopefully by.
That's not the question.
Not yet, sir.
Are you collecting revenue?
Not yet, sir.
Who is collecting revenue?
It is still domiciled at the county government level.
Okay, give it to the other manager. Are you collecting revenue?
No, Chair.
You are not?
Yeah, it is
Who is collecting revenue?
County Revenue Board.
So who is paying your salary?
County Government of Laikipia.
County government. So, Governor, there is no autonomy.
There is no autonomy there without finances.
Chair, the Laikipia County was the first county to come up with the County Revenue Authority Board. And we did that in our first term. So at the moment, we had centralized all the revenue correction. And what we have done is, in terms of like now FIF for hospitals, that one I know even when we get to there, they have their money. Particularly for 4 hospitals, they have their money. Whatever they correct from their hospitals, it gets back to them as a whole. 100% it goes back. So we are trying to institutionalize now in the whole structure of now that it's just like KRA collecting on behalf of the government. So now either we empower them on how they can be able to collect their own revenue, and I know it has a cost implication in terms of their staffing and all that, but this is something that is a work in progress, I would say, that we would wish. For me, I would want the institutions, the municipality to run independent on their own way, even collecting their own revenue and managing, and that is an assurance that we are in progress.
Members, Senator Mbogo and Hamida.
Thank you, Chair. Governor, I've heard you very clearly, but you know when we have a national law which contradicts the county law, the national law should take precedence. But the big question, Governor, because we face this issue with other counties, maybe the COG should be coming out clearly and say the Urban Areas and Cities Act, when it is enacted, it gives power to the municipal managers that you as a governor, or maybe Senator Kenyua, if he campaigns and becomes the governor, he does most of the work, but when he gets into office, he transfers those power to some other fellows who did not campaign. Maybe that is a problem which you need to come and address and tell the Senate what you think maybe we need to do. Is that the elephant in the room, my governor?
You have hit the nail on the head. That is a problem. All the counties, they want to appear like they are doing something, but in reality, they don't want to transfer that power to the municipality. And maybe you are doing that just for the purpose of securing donor funding to the municipality. But indeed, all the counties that appeared before us, the same problem. They do not want to give the municipality autonomy as required in the law. And we have said, as senators, you come and tell us the truth, and we will maybe align the law. Because currently the law is very clear. The Urban Areas and Cities Act is very clear. When you apply it and it disadvantages you, tell us.
Just a brief one on it's a two-way. You have said it, that many of us, as much as we have devolved the functions, transferred the functions, but sincerely, the revenue that is collected from those urban areas are the ones that sustain the rest of the counties. That's the truth of the matter.
You have said
because
Governor, you have said
because if it's Nanyuki,
you want to let it go.
Because if the money, like now the county is collecting about 1.1 billion so far, and our target is 1.47 billion, and out of that money, almost 70% comes from those urban areas. And I need to articulate water in Dodo, Laikipia North. There is no revenue that comes from there. But all the revenue that comes here is what now, when it's put together with the equitable share, which I get here, I distribute equally. So if I let, and I don't want to say that I will not let them go, but it's something that can only be done progressively, because I know what it would mean. Because me and you, we know, because we come from the counties, that most of those urban areas, the municipality, is where all kind of revenue, almost 90% of the county revenue is collected from those areas. So imagine a town like Nyahururu and Nanyuki collect all the revenue, and I give them almost the 80%. So what do I do with the rest of the about 80% of the county? So that's probably an amendment of a kind that even if it's a certain percentage in a proportional way, that it need to go back. Otherwise, the moment you say the revenue collected by those municipalities, all of it go there. And the people who are served, there are people even coming from the rural area, they come and pay. Then they need to get part of this payment they do. Just like what we get from the equitable share is the money that is collected from KRI, from Laikipia. It is brought here, and therefore we get a share of that. That's what kind of a model that we would look for. Otherwise, the moment we fight and we say we go as per the law that the municipalities collect all the revenue and keep them, I don't think most of the counties will not even survive.
Sure.
But
yes,
Chair, I'll be happy to model with one municipality. I try with one.
Now, after probing you, the truth has come out.
Chair,
Amida.
Chair, we'll still ask the same question that we asked in the morning. Why would you establish a municipality that you refuse to give an autonomy? I mean, then, okay, our legal, of course, council can proceed, can go ahead and read to Bwana Governor what it entails. But then it's so unfortunate that looking at it, there's no independency, there's no, you're running the show, you're holding on to it, Bwana Governor. So then what happens? Because they are, more or less, it's a skeleton. I mean, it's a team, but then there's no head, you're holding on to it. When a legal counsel, maybe you can read the law, the section that establishes the municipality.
And Chair, is a legal seat that reads that through you. What makes the governor being the CEO of Laikipia County, what makes you not just give them the autonomy and you still work with them when they are operating their account, themselves, and you give them directions as a CEO of Laikipia County?
Chair, before the legal counsel and also the governor responds, maybe Chair, the governor is very honest. And since he's an honest man like some of us, maybe then you, at your level of council of governors, maybe you can propose some amendments. This law is not cast in stone. Yeah, look at, I'm sure, when you go to Washingishu, the main collection is basically Eldoret City. And then there are many other small towns, there are rural areas. Basically, Nairobi is lucky because it's only Nairobi. It's a city. The city of Nairobi and the county is one. Yeah, so it's just one thing. But you go to Kiambu, you have Ruiru, you have Thika, you have all Kiambu town. So maybe, in your own sitting, even in Ibek and other places, you give a proposal to say, do we really make these municipalities and cities independent? Or you can propose that it becomes part of the county, or you propose a percentage of the revenue. That what remains, because if you don't propose, if you say, I was even discussing with my colleague here that maybe if there was a way of saying if there is surplus, it is moved to CRF. But the municipalities will budget for everything. They'll create activities. Yeah. So the best is to put in law a percentage, so that they'll be forced to collect more, so that because of the percentage, they'll retain more. So just give a proposal. And Chair, I'm also proposing, Chair, we should not actually also take a lot of time on this particular issue, because, I mean, there's a lacuna in the law.
Chairman,
Yes.
if I can read, urban financing legal framework exists, but it's ignored. Kenya legal framework provides clear path for financing urban areas. The Public Finance Management PFM Act 2012 under Section 172 allows urban areas to retain their own source revenue and receive direct funding from county governments. The Act outlines mechanism for managing and reporting these funds, ensuring transparency and accountability. Further, the PFM Act designates cities and municipal boards with accounting officers, giving them legal authority over urban financial management. MM for Rumuruti and for Nanyuki. Just need to liaise with all other MMs in Ruiru and other places, because this one I got from your group. I got this from your group. They included me in your group because I'm trying to push something. You need to work. Power is not given, power is taken. So I'm just he's honest. I'm being honest. It's just the way Kisang, you said, you are truthful as my governor. Even me, I'm truthful. We come from the area of truthful people. So all what you need to do is you organize your staff. As the chairman said about the law, in your that organization of MMs, you bring something, we can assist you, because you don't expect Governor Joshua Irongo to give you money at expense of people in Ngarua, at expense of people in Marmanet, people in Matanya. So you have to do what you have to do. Thank you.
So I think, honorable members, as Kisang said, we don't need to belabor on this. What we will do as a committee is that we are going to engage the Council of Governors on this matter and see how to handle it. Honorable members, I think we had agreed on how to approach these reports. I had ruled that we will take written responses, but just get comments from the various entities. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. We will not look at the hospitals, but there is one issue that we have noted in the hospitals, which, Governor, I want you to comment on, the issue of Nanyuki Teaching and Referral Hospital. You are calling it a teaching and referral hospital, and it has no medical school. So what are you doing about the KMTC, the long overdue KMTC?
Okay, Chair. Thank you. Thank you. I would have loved to start with the health because I thought that my savior is the Senate.
In fact, the clerk had even recommended that we set another date for health to look at the matters which are there in detail.
Really, no, I want to be clear now, but I think at a certain point, I don't know which committee that we need to engage at a certain point, because if there is a count that have been suffering, and I have said it and said it not once, not twice, and I will still continue saying it, even when I leave this position as a governor, that Laikipia County will never manage, whichever way, to go below 50% of the wage bill. It will never. So long as Nanyuki, Nyahururu are managed by the county government, I have no problem to manage. In fact, I'm managing it better, even when it was in the national government. And therefore, the issue of Lumruti being and Nanyuki Teaching and Referral Hospital, the measures we are putting, one, it would have been completed if it was KMTC. But we have a lesson that we learned our own as a government. I did bring KMTC in Nyahururu during my first term. And we had agreement. It's me who did the infrastructure. I provided land. I did the infrastructure. I did almost everything for them. And we thought that having done all this and investing county government money to do this function, I thought Laikipia people would benefit more. That a certain percentage or a certain quota of the students should be coming from Laikipia, because it's Laikipia who owned up the infrastructure. I did the budgeting. I did the investment. But later, we realized that I have no problem to serve Kenya, but not in the expense of my people, at the expense of my people. And therefore, we ended up having that we are having only about less than 10% or 20% of the Laikipians otherwise being accommodated there. And therefore, for us in Nanyuki, we have said we are not going to have the KMTC there. We are going to do our own medical training center, where we can be able to dictate in terms of the quota or the percentage from the people from Laikipia who should benefit. Because the moment we make it a national, it's beyond our control. We have invested, we have given the land, we have done the building and all those aspects. So one of the things, Chair, is that we are in the progress, and I'm sure probably before the end of this year, not financial year, before the calendar year, we might have the first recruitment for Nanyuki Medical Training Center. We are putting all the infrastructure to make sure that we have actualized Laikipia, Nanyuki to be a Nanyuki Teaching and Referral Hospital.
Okay. I don't want to open up that debate, but because you are the senator, you can comment on that.
And probably he doesn't incite people like the way he has done incitement of the municipal managers.
Chairman, on this one, I'm agreeing with Governor 100%. In terms of we must have a quota system picking people from Laikipia. It is true, Governor, you are the governor of Republic of Kenya. Remember, when people of Laikipia did not elect you the second term, these people, the good people of Kenya, did not assist you. It is only people of Laikipia who came back for your rescue again. So Laikipia comes first. If that is inciting, then I'm doing it.
Are you taking us back to the shareholding?
No. It is. I use the word quota system, but if quota system shareholding is the same, I don't know. But Chairman, it's true. And the biggest problem we have in Laikipia is where our hospitals are set. In Nanyuki, we serve half of the population is from Meru, Isiolo, Samburu, as well as from Nyeri. In Nyahururu, the same happens. We are serving people from Nakuru, serving from Nyandarua, people from as far as Baringo. So we are strategically placed, but it doesn't help us. That's where the problem is. But Governor, on this one, I'm supporting Governor in terms of we must have our centers whereby we can dictate. I know the CEC Health played a key role when you're opening that KMTC, but once it's open, you can have every other person coming, but not people from Laikipia. And there's nothing much you can do because it's this COOPS thing. And, COOPS, we must know how to deal with this COOP. We tell them, even if you're taking COOPS, we must give percentage of people in that area. I don't know how it will be done, Chairman, but we must do something. And because I'm in education, is that it's not education? I don't know why is that.
A policy, kind of.
Yeah.
So that, because Chair, the KMTC infested by the county governors, actually, the governors are the ones, it's not even KMTC that does those structures, it's the county government. So a certain quota need to be given, specifically for if there's a KMTC in Laikipia, in Nyahururu, then Laikipia should be a policy that this percentage is the kids coming from that locality or that county.
Okay. Honorable members.
Just the way the Constitution says, Chairman, just the way the Constitution says, in Laikipia we are supposed to employ 30% from people from outside. So it's the same thing supposed to
happen. I think some members here are catching flights, including myself. So, honorable members, we stop at that point. We will adjourn until on notice by the clerk. So, have a wonderful weekend, and those who are going to Laikipia, travel safely.
Chairman,